My beloved sisters and brothers in spirit, lend me your hearts, stretch your ears like tents pitched toward hope. Open your soul like a morning lily bathed in dew. Because I have something to tell you, and it was not whispered by man, nor shouted by the crowds. It was breathed by the Most High. God said August 8th, 2025 will not be a normal day. Child, come closer. Bring your trembling heart near. Let the noise of the world fall behind you like shadows at sunrise. There is something mighty stirring in the unseen, and your soul needs to hear it whispered like a secret wrapped in thunder. August 8th, 2025 is not just another page on the calendar. It is a sacred note in God's eternal symphony. It is not a day clothed in the fabric of the mundane. No, darling, this is a day dipped in divine ink. It is carved in the palms of heaven, and the Almighty Himself has spoken it aloud. Now let us not be deceived by the ordinary garments of time. The day may rise like any other. The clock may tick without tremble. The sun may take its place in the eastern sky, and the birds may chirp their morning songs with no extra verse. But just as the sea can look calm and yet hold a storm underneath, so too will this day hold within it the trembling power of the divine. Do not be fooled by silence, because often the quietest mornings carry the loudest miracles. Too many people move through life assuming that every day is just a copy of the last. They say, "What is this day to me? Just another day of work, another mountain to climb, another mouth to feed?" But when God places His hand upon a day, that day becomes holy ground. And you, my dear, will walk through it not in routine but in revelation. August 8th, 2025 is not normal because God has called it otherwise. God doesn't traffic in mediocrity. When He names a thing, it becomes what He speaks. And He has spoken this date into your spirit because He knows what you've carried, what you've endured, and what you've prayed in the darkness. This is not coincidence. It's confirmation. This day is not slipping by unnoticed in heaven's calendar. No, baby, it's highlighted in gold. I want you to feel the weight of that. Imagine the eternal clock that ticks in God's kingdom, and know that it has pointed to August 8th, like a great arrow drawn back in a holy bow. When it releases, something will be pierced. Maybe your despair, maybe your delay, maybe your doubt. But something is going to break, not in pain, but in power. For this is not the day for silence. This is the day when heaven leans close and touches earth. You may wake up that morning with no trumpet, no angel appearing at your bedside, but don't you miss the miracle just because it walks in barefoot. Sometimes God enters a room as a whisper. Sometimes He hides the holy and the humble. And just when you think nothing's different, your phone will ring with good news. Your doctor will call with a changed report. Your child will come home. Your heart will stop aching. It might be subtle, but child, it will be sovereign. Now you ask me, why would God choose August? And I say, who are we to ask the potter about the clay? But still I believe the answer is gentle and strong all at once. Because you're ready. Because the time has come. Because there are things that can only be born in the fullness of time. And August 8th has ripened like fruit on a heavenly tree. And just as fruit must be picked in its season, so too must blessings come when the soul is ready to hold them. There are some days when heaven is quiet, when prayers seem to hang in the air unanswered. But there are also days when the veil between the divine and the daily becomes thin as breath. When God steps close enough to whisper miracles into your marrow. August 8th is one of those days. I feel it in my bones. I hear it in the rhythm of prayer. I see it in the eyes of those who are waiting, not for luck, but for the Lord. You may be weary, but let me remind you that weariness is the womb of wonder. Those who are tired of waiting are often the closest to breakthrough. You have held on when others let go. You have praised in pain. You have stayed faithful in famine. And God, who sees in secret, has set this date as a day of unveiling. So don't you dare walk into that day like it's ordinary. Don't you drag your feet through it like it owes you nothing. Wake up early. Wash your face. Look to the heavens and say, I am ready. Prepare your heart like an altar. Offer up your gratitude before the gift even arrives, because faith prepares before it sees, and God honors those who expect Him. If this resonates, share your story below. I read every one as a prayer. I want you to know that the world may not notice. The news won't mention it. The stars won't rearrange themselves in the sky. But your life will shift. Some burdens will evaporate like morning fog. Some relationships will align. Some answers will come wrapped in the very thing you feared. It might not all happen at once, but make no mistake, August 8th will start something. It will awaken a movement. It will ignite a flame that cannot be smothered. And let me tell you this, baby, you are a part of it. You were not born to simply pass through time like wind through an empty house. You are God's own, chosen for this hour. August 8th is not only a day of divine movement, it is a day of personal visitation. And when God visits, He doesn't leave you the same. He changes your name, your direction, your destiny. So step into that day, not just with your eyes, but with your spirit open wide. Let your soul be watchful. Let your mouth speak life. Let your feet tread softly, for you'll be walking on the soil of miracles. Yes, my dear, this will not be a normal day because God has declared it so. And when the sun sets on that sacred day and the stars hang like jewels in the sky, I pray you'll sit in stillness and say, yes, Lord, you kept your word. I will never forget what you did on August 8th, and neither will the world. There are days when heaven leans down and brushes the earth with its fingertips. Days when the sky doesn't just hang above us like a blanket of blue, but breathes. Days when what is spiritual becomes real and what is impossible bends its knees to the name of the Lord. August 8th, that sacred day we now speak of, will not be a day for business as usual. No, child, that will be a day when the world pauses in quiet awe, whether it knows it or not. A day when the divine reaches down and moves in ways that cannot be charted by reason, cannot be predicted by logic, cannot be confined by human tradition. Miracles, yes, that's the word, trembling on the lips of angels. Miracles will move like wind across a thirsty field. You may not see them with your eyes, but your spirit will feel the shift. Just as you can't see the wind but know when it passes, so too will you know when God has moved on your behalf. You've been praying, haven't you? Oh, I know you have. You've been whispering things to God that no one else hears. Little prayers tucked under your breath like folded notes passed in class. You've cried over bills, over health, over the children you raised and the ones you lost. You've asked the Lord, when will you turn this around? You've looked up from your bed with swollen eyes and trembling hands, and the night has given you no answer. But hear me now, sweet child of God. God has not forgotten a single syllable of your cry. Your prayers have not vanished into the void. They have been gathered, stored, pressed down in the palm of the Almighty. And He has chosen this day, August 8th, 2025, to move on your behalf. You see, miracles are not just fireworks. They are not always booming and loud. They are not always split seas and falling manna. Sometimes miracles are quiet. Sometimes they arrive wrapped in ordinary things. A letter in the mail with good news, a diagnosis changed, a prodigal returning with tears and trembling, a sudden peace that makes no earthly sense. These are miracles too, and on that day they will rain down like holy dew. The world will call it coincidence. They will say, how lucky you are. But let the world say what it will. The faithful will know.
We will know.
We will look at one another with tear-filled eyes and say, God did it. God moved. God made a way out of no way. This will be a day when people trapped in darkness will suddenly see light. It will not be the kind of light that comes from bulbs or sunrises, but the kind of light that lives inside your chest, the kind that warms a weary soul, the kind that gives you breathe when you thought your lungs were too tired. On this day, those who have been sitting in emotional prisons, those held by chains of depression, guilt, fear, or shame, will find the doors of their cages mysteriously open. God said He will unlock doors that generations have tried to pry open. Do you hear me? Not just your doors, baby. Generational ones. Curses that sat on your family like heavy stones for years will begin to crack. Cycles of poverty, addiction, abandonment. God will say enough. And when God says enough, there is no court on earth that can appeal His ruling. This will also be a day when the proud will feel a shift under their feet. For God does not exalt arrogance. No, He lifts the lowly and brings down the high-minded. Those who have laughed at your faith, who mocked your prayers, who rolled their eyes at your belief, they will be silenced, not by your vengeance, but by God's vindication. They will see what happens when the Lord fights for His children. Some of you have tried every door. You've sent out resumes, sat in waiting rooms, knocked on opportunity's door until your knuckles bled. But on August 8th, the door you weren't even looking at, the one you thought was closed, will swing open, and behind it will be peace, purpose, provision. That's the way of God. He doesn't just open doors. He builds new ones when none exist. Now listen, there will be those who are so consumed by distraction that they will miss it. Don't let that be you. The miracle may not come wrapped in lightning, but it will come. Stay awake. Keep your spiritual eyes open. Don't waste time looking down at your feet when God is sending signs from above. Be still. Be present. Because divine intervention walks quietly, sometimes like a midnight visitor with sacred news. You may feel unworthy. You may say, "Why me, Lord?" But let me tell you, miracles are not earned. They are gifted. God does not bless you because of your perfection. He blesses you because of your position, your posture of surrender, your decision to trust when there's no reason left to believe. God is moving in the shadows, weaving a story that you can't yet see. He's already dispatched angels to prepare your path. He's already turned the hearts of decision makers in your favor. He's already cleared the clouds that blocked your vision. August 8th is not a test. It is a response, a divine response to the faith you planted long ago. And when the day comes to a close, when the sun begins to kiss the horizon good night, and your home is bathed in that golden evening light, I pray you will know you are living inside a miracle. That day will leave fingerprints on your life. It will be remembered in your spirit even when your hair has turned gray. You will tell your children, there was a day when everything changed. And it wasn't because I fought harder or worked smarter. It was because God moved. So prepare, beloved. Get your spirit ready like a room expecting royalty. Clean out the clutter of doubt and fear. Set the table with hope. Light the candles of faith, because the guest of honor is coming and he brings miracles with him. On August 8th, 2025, the air will hum with holiness. The impossible will look possible and your soul will dance, because heaven came close. And you, yes you, will never be the same. Child, let me speak this gently to your soul. For what I am about to say is not for the faint-hearted or the distracted. There are some blessings that come freely, like rain falling on the just and unjust. But there are others, mighty, heavy, holy blessings that require preparation. They will not settle where the soil has not been tilled. They will not dwell in a heart cluttered with doubt, nor will they bloom in a life too busy to notice their unfolding. And that is why I tell you now, with all the rhythm of truth in my voice, you must prepare your spirit for August. For this is not just a date you walk into like any other. This is not the kind of day where you wake up, brush your teeth, sip your coffee, and scroll your screen while heaven waits on the doorstep. No, beloved, this is a divine appointment, a sacred visitation, and the holy does not make house calls where the door is locked tight with disbelief. You must prepare, not with fine clothes, not with golden coins, not with outward perfection. No, this preparation is an inward one. It is a posture of the heart. It is the quiet rearranging of your soul furniture to make room for the holy guest. For when God comes to dine with you, child, you do not serve him on dusty plates of routine. You set the table with faith, with expectation, and with the sweet wine of worship. Some of us are so used to being disappointed that we've stopped preparing altogether. We say, if it happens, it happens, and we shrug our shoulders at the promises of God. But hear me, preparation is not foolishness. It is faith in motion. It says, I don't see it yet, but I'm getting ready because I believe it's on the way. A woman who prepares her house before the rain falls is not crazy. She's wise, and a soul that prepares for a move of God before it arrives is not naive. It is blessed. Now I know, child, that preparing is hard, especially when you're tired, when you've waited a long time, when you've prayed and fasted and cried and nothing seemed to change, when the heavens felt sealed and your hands felt empty. I know, I've been there. But let me remind you of something. It is often the moment right before the miracle that feels the most silent. The sky goes still before it breaks. The womb goes quiet before it delivers. August 8th is not the time to grow weary. It is the time to awaken your soul like a morning trumpet. Dust off your praise. Sweep away the cobwebs of doubt. Clean your spiritual window so the light can get in. If there is bitterness, throw it out. If there is unforgiveness, let it go. If there is fear crouching in the corners of your mind, shine the lamp of truth until it runs. Because God will not pour holy oil into a cracked and dirty vessel. You don't have to be perfect, baby, but you do have to be willing. Begin each day leading to August 8th with a prayer on your lips. Not a complicated one, not a long one. Just something like, Lord, make me ready. That's all. That is the cry that heaven cannot ignore. When God sees a soul stretched wide with hunger, when he sees a heart bowed low in preparation, he moves. He honors that kind of faith because it means you believe he's coming. Now, I'll tell you something else. Some people won't understand your preparation. They'll say, why are you praying more? Or why are you fasting? Or why are you acting like something big is about to happen? Let them talk. Let them laugh. Because Noah built an ark before the rain came, and the people laughed at him too. But child, when the rain started falling, those who prepared were not afraid. That is what August 8th will be, a rain of blessing, a flood of divine presence. And only those who prepared will truly drink of it. If someone's name is on your heart, send them this word right now. So I tell you again, do not come into that day empty. Come full of hope. Come dressed in praise. Come expectant. Because God responds to the expectant heart. Preparation also means clearing space. Some of us have filled our time with noise. We've got too many opinions in our ears, too many worries in our minds, and too many tasks on our backs. But if you want to hear the whisper of God, you must quiet the chaos. You must find a sacred corner in your life where he can speak and be heard. Maybe that's in your car before work. Maybe it's 5 minutes before dawn while the world still sleeps. Wherever it is, protect it like gold. That's where preparation happens. Don't just prepare your day. Prepare your attitude, because miracles don't land in bitter soil. They don't bloom in negativity. Walk into August 8th with a spirit of gratitude. Thank God in advance. Praise Him like the victory is already yours. Because what you're doing in that moment is telling heaven, I trust you. Even before I see it, I trust you. And hear me, child. Preparation is contagious. When others see your faith, it will stir something in them too. Your preparation becomes a testimony. Your readiness becomes a light. You might not even have to say a word. Just the way you carry yourself will speak of what's coming. And the ones who mocked your hope may one day ask, how did you know? And you'll say, I didn't, but I believe. And that was enough. So prepare, not in fear, but in faith. Not with panic, but with praise. August 8th is coming like a train from heaven. And you don't want to be standing there without your bags packed. You don't want to miss the ride because you were too busy doubting to hear the whistle. This is your time. This is your signal. Prepare, child. Get your spirit in position, because when God shows up, and He will, you'll want to be ready. And when the sun rises on August 8th and your soul is already standing at the gate with open arms, you'll feel it. Oh, you'll feel it deep. You'll say, thank God I didn't wait to get ready. Thank God I believed when I didn't have a reason. Thank God I prepared when others scoffed. Because this day, this sacred holy day, it was never meant to be normal. It was meant for me. And what a beautiful thing it is to be ready when God walks into the room. Oh, my sweet child, lean in now, closer than before, for this truth is not shouted from the mountaintop. No, it is sung softly from the Spirit's lips to your listening soul. You've been wondering, asking with your tired eyes and hands worn by the weight of waiting, what does God want from me? You've asked, what must I do to be worthy of the miracle of the movement of the moment that is August 8th? But let me give you the truth wrapped in grace. God is not asking for your perfection. God is not seeking the flawless. God is calling for the surrendered and the believing. You see, there are many walking through this life trying to earn their way into His presence, scrubbing their deeds until their hands are raw, collecting good behavior like coins in a jar. But the Lord, one who made the sun blink and the rivers roll, is not bartering with man. He's not a merchant of merit. He is a Father who gives not based on how clean you are, but how open you are. He blesses those who dare to believe. When the storm hasn't cleared, when the answer hasn't come, when the night is still long, faith is not about seeing. No, child, faith is walking through the fog and trusting the bridge is there even when you can't see the planks beneath your feet. That kind of faith, that fierce and trembling trust, is what moves the heart of God. It is not the polished prayers or the grand gestures that open the heavens. It is the simple whispered words. I still believe. On August 8th, 2025, heaven is poised to respond to those who have been believing in the dark. You may not have it all together. You may feel unworthy, unsure, unfinished. But none of that matters to God. What He seeks is a soul that says, I don't know how, but I know you, and that is enough for me. That kind of faith is fire. That kind of faith is oil for the miracle. That kind of faith cannot be ignored. You don't need to impress God with rituals, baby. He's not dazzled by how long you pray or how many scriptures you quote. He's moved when your heart bows low in honesty and says, Lord, I'm here, not perfect, not proud, but open. Come and do what only you can do. That's the doorway, child. That's the invitation for the divine to step into your natural and make it supernatural. Now hear me. Surrender is not weakness. It is strength cloaked in humility. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means giving over, releasing the illusion that you are in control, and placing your life, your plans, your fears, and your future into the hands of the one who shaped the stars. Surrender says, Lord, I trust your yes, but I'll still praise you if you say wait. That's what he's after. Not your performance, just your trust. And trust is a holy thing. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet as a mother's hush. Sometimes it's still as a mountaintop. But it is there, steady and sacred, refusing to give up even when the sky goes silent. On August 8th, the heavens will look for that kind of trust. Not the kind that demands, but the kind that receives. Not the kind that manipulates, but the kind that says, thy will be done. Some will miss what God is doing because they are trying to earn what can only be accepted. They are striving when God simply says, be still. They are performing when God says, just be. And I don't want that to be you. I don't want you to stand outside the door of breakthrough because you believed the lie that you had to be spotless to enter. You don't have to be spotless. You just have to be available. You may say, but I failed. We all have, baby. Failure is not disqualification. It is the seed of transformation. God can use failure as fertilizer for faith. You may say, but I've doubted. And yet here you are, still hoping, still listening, still reaching. That is belief in motion. That is faith rising even after the fall. Don't let your past be the lock on the door. God is trying to open for you. On this divine day that is drawing near, you need not come with polished shoes and polished plans. Come barefoot, come bold, come broken if you must. Just come believing. God can use a broken heart better than a hardened one. God can bless a trembling hand better than a clenched fist. Let me tell you, miracles are not given to the deserving. They are given to the expectant, and expectation is born from faith. It grows when you decide that God is bigger than your fear. It matures when you realize He is not just a promise maker, but a promise keeper. And August 8th, 2025 is drenched in promises waiting to be fulfilled. Don't measure your worthiness by your own mirror. Look through the eyes of grace, because grace is not a decoration. It is the foundation. It is the reason we can come boldly before God, not as beggars, but as beloved children. And when you step into that day with grace as your garment and faith as your shoes, you will walk into blessings that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. God is not looking for perfect people. He is looking for people who will say yes. People who will say, here I am, Lord, use me. People who will show up when the world says, there's no use. People who will lift up holy hands, not to show off but to surrender. So come ready not with credentials, but with confidence not in yourself, but in your Savior. Come with a heart like open hands. Come believing that your yes is enough, that your faith can shake the heavens, that your surrender can unlock the blessing. And when August 8th arrives, you will know. You'll feel it deep in your bones. You'll say, it wasn't me, it was my God. I didn't earn this. I received it. And that, beloved, is the beauty of grace. And you, precious soul, are willing. That is all heaven needs to begin. Child, let me tell you something that your soul already knows, but your mind might have forgotten. There are some days so sacred, so drenched in divine purpose, that they split your life into two parts, before and after. And when you live through such a day, you don't come out of it the same. You come out reformed, remade, rewired from the inside out. August 8th, 2025 will be one of those days. Now, you may not see it coming. You may not wake up that morning with lightning in your bones or angels standing at your door. The sun may rise like it always does. The breeze may kiss your cheek just like yesterday. But child, don't let the ordinary disguise the extraordinary. Because on that day, heaven will lean close, and something in your life will turn. Something that's been stuck will move. Something that's been broken will be mended. And you'll know deep down where only the Spirit speaks. You'll know that something shifted, We are not always given a warning when our story changes. We don't always hear trumpets before the miracle walks in. But every now and then God gives us a whisper in the wind, a knowing in our belly that says, pay attention. Mark this day. And if you are wise, if your ears are tuned to heaven, you'll feel it. You'll step into August 8th like a woman stepping onto sacred ground, like a man who has heard the call from the mountain. Because this is not just a page on the calendar. It's a new chapter in your life. Your past may have been heavy. Your history may have hurt. You might have walked through years of sorrow, seasons of lack, decades of waiting. But the thing about God is He doesn't need a long time to change everything. He just needs the right time. And baby, August 8th is the right time. The moment that's been written in the margins of heaven's book with your name on it. You will look back one day and say, that was the day everything turned. Not because you earned it, not because you figured it out, but because God stepped in, because grace met you at the intersection of surrender and faith, because the wind of the Spirit blew into your life like a fresh fire and you were never the same again. Now hear me. The world may not take notice. We may treat August 8th like just another day. But you, child of God, will know better. You will remember the way your heart started to sing a new song. You'll remember the moment peace wrapped around your soul like a warm shawl. You'll remember how hope, that old friend you thought had left you, came and sat by your side again. That's what happens when heaven touches earth. It marks you. It leaves you changed. And this change, child, it won't just be for you. Because when God shifts something in your life, the ripple touches everything and everyone connected to you. Your children will feel it. Your household will be covered in the overflow. Your workplace, your friendships, your very countenance, everything will carry the fragrance of transformation. That's what happens when the Spirit gets involved. Your life becomes a testimony, walking on two legs. Some people carry wounds so deep they forget what healing feels like. But August 8th will be a day of restoration, a day when God reaches into the places you kept hidden and says, let there be light here too. He will bless not just the parts of you that are polished and presentable. Oh no, He'll bless the parts of you that are broken and bruised, because our God does not shy away from the mess. He specializes in bringing beauty out of it. There are some stories that don't make sense until the turning point. You read and wonder why the character must suffer so, why the struggle lasts so long. But then comes the turning of the page, the divine punctuation that shifts the whole meaning of what came before. August 8th will be that turning page. You will begin to understand the waiting. You will start to see how the pain prepared you, how the delay developed you, and how God was writing something beautiful all along. Don't you know, beloved, that your story isn't over? Don't you let your current chapter convince you that this is all there is. Because God has already written a scene of redemption, a breakthrough, a blessing that will make the tears worth it. August 8th is the beginning of that new scene, the start of a divine unfolding, and it will change the trajectory of your path. You may have walked in circles for years. You may have thought the promise was dead, but child, dry bones don't stay dry when God speaks. And I believe with every ounce of holy fire in my soul that on this day God will speak life into your valley. He will speak order into your chaos. He will speak destiny into your doubt. And your story will begin again, this time with joy. And let me tell you something even sweeter. This day will not only mark you, but it will remind you of who you are. Because when heaven moves, it doesn't just change your circumstances. It reintroduces you to yourself. It calls you by your real name. No longer broken, no longer forgotten, no longer unworthy, but beloved, chosen, anointed. And from that day forward, you will walk differently, speak differently, expect differently. You will be a person who carries the memory of August 8th like a jewel in your crown. And when others ask you why you smile in storms, why you hope against hope, why you praise when the fig tree does not blossom, you will say, because I know what my God can do. I remember the day he turned my life around. I remember August. So I say to you now, mark it, honor it, prepare for it, because it will be the line drawn in your life. A spiritual border that separates what was from what will be. And when the night before it comes, may your heart rest in assurance, because your God is faithful and he has scheduled something mighty just for you. And after August 8th has come and gone, after the miracle has arrived, the peace has flooded in, and the chains have fallen, you will look to the sky and whisper through grateful tears, thank you, Lord. I will never forget this day. And you won't. Because once heaven touches you, you don't go back. You rise. Subscribe to this sacred circle. You have a seat at this table.